Hi guys, Luna here. Thank you for tuning in and watching me. I appreciate you very much. Let me set this so we can actually see each other a little bit. Okay. I just did a video on tincture, and I thought I would do one next on tarot. I'm going to be honest with you. If you want to know tarot inside out, upside down, left to right, you need to watch Mama Squirrel. She is the most informative person I know when it comes to tarot. She goes through each card. She explains each card. She is just amazing when it comes to knowing the ins and outs of tarot. However, I approach tarot much differently. I am a intuitive reader. I find that when I try to muck it up with a book or explanation or following what this card means compared to what the other card means or what this card means in each deck, I muck up my own readings. I don't read that way. I can't read that way. It just doesn't work for me. Okay, so that being said, my first reaction when someone says is, I got a new tarot deck and I can't wait to delve into this book. My first inner thing is a cringe. I'm just like, throw the book away. Throw the book away. Let the cards tell you what you need to be saying to the person you're reading, even if it is yourself. Get rid of that book. That's my thoughts. And that's because, as I said, I cannot use a book. I cannot memorize a card's meaning from the Two of Swords, and what that generally means does not work for me because, again, I'm an intuitive reader. So for me, I take the cards, I stick the books in a pile there. I have a box somewhere clear full of tarot books, not just tarot books that you are using for the deck, but tarot books that explain tarot left and right. Because I tried, ladies and gentlemen, for years to really inform myself about tarot. It just doesn't work for me. Now, do I get accurate readings? Extremely accurate readings. All of my readings are extremely accurate. I never have an issue, hitting the nail on the head. I just have an issue using a book or trying to memorize the meaning of certain cards. So I don't do that. This is me. This is my way of doing it. Don't base yourself off me. If you're an intuitive reader, a book can get in the way. And that's just all there is to it. If you're not an intuitive reader and you can actually absorb what these cards stand for in their bareness and in their deepness then you're going to do great with it. But I personally cannot do that, so I don't. I get rid of books. Do I have a favorite deck? Yes, I do. Gilded Tarot is my favorite deck, not because of the artwork, which is an extremely great reason to love that deck. It is absolutely gorgeous, but for me, it's because that deck speaks to me very well. I hear clearly what I need to say. Another one that works well for me is called the Witch's deck. It speaks fairly clear to me. If I'm doing a reading for someone who is just following around, they're just playing and they just want a reading, I can use the Witch's deck and not worry about it. But if I'm doing a serious, somebody paid me to do a reading, I use the Gilded Tarot. I also use 2 oracles in a reading. I use the Gilded Tarot to do the reading, and I use 2 oracles to try to get a advice type thing from them. So the 2 oracle decks I use is number 1, the Energy Oracle, and I just went completely blank. I will get back to you on that. The Energy Oracle is the number 1 oracle that I use to get a definitive advice card when I'm finished with my reading, so to speak. Another thing is, I used to do only spreads I no longer use spreads, and I don't use them because I find I don't get the answers as clearly when they are in a set position as I do when the cards are dropping for the person I'm reading. I shouldn't say I don't use them. I do use them if the person I am reading requests that I use a spread, I will use a spread. But I do make it clear to them that I tend to give better readings when the cards are read intuitively and they fall intuitively. And I make sure that they understand that up front. But yes, I do read spreads, but I prefer to have the cards drop. How long do you let those cards drop? You'll know when the reading is over. You will know when there has been a conclusion. You will know if you don't know because there's a conclusion to what this reading is stating or where it's going. You will know because the cards that are dropping, well, first of all, the cards will quit dropping, but second of all, cards that are dropping are multiple. You're getting like 7 or 8 cards at a time. They're not making any sense anymore. They don't, speak to you. You're not getting anything from them. You're going to know your reading is over. And practice. It just takes practice. Read everybody all the time. Don't even have to ask them, can you read them? You don't have to make a production of it. You don't have to say, hey, can I read you? You visit with your friend, she goes home, do a reading. How's she doing? If you come across something that's extremely important, you feel you need to share it. Is that an invasion of privacy? Well, if you are trying to, if you're like maliciously going behind their back and reading them, I could see that being like an invasion of privacy. But if you're just doing a general reading on someone to get practice, no, I don't believe it is an invasion of privacy. I've even read my landlord, who probably isn't interested in anything like that. But I will see someone in the grocery store who strikes me a certain way. I met a lady one time in Walmart who just looked like she needed a hug so bad. She just looked lost. And I spoke with her a little bit, and I came home and I read her. And why did I read her? Well, first of all, for practice. Second of all, because I got such energy from her. And third of all, I thought if I ever see her again, maybe I'll have some encouraging things I can say. So, no, I don't believe it's an invasion of privacy to read people without their consent, as long as you're not reading them and then going to your best friend Becky and saying, Becky, I read so-and-so, and you're not going to believe it. You don't want to do that. Readings are very, very private and very personal. I personally won't normally tend to do a reading with other people around. So if someone comes to me for a reading and their spouse is there, I will separate them. Readings are very personal and very private, and they can cause animosity between couples. Be wary of reading in front of other people, because I have seen in the cards, or had the cards tell me there's this other love interest. How are you going to say that in front of a spouse? So be very personal and private with your readings. They should be personal and private. They should only be given to the one who wants the reading. And if that person chooses to tell others about their reading, that's different. But it's much like spiritual counseling. What is said here stays here. You are being allowed into this person's personal space, and it should be considered a hallowed place. You should never repeat what you read. You should never judge by what's being read. You should never have personal ties to what's being given in those cards. All good things to keep in mind. My nose ring is driving me crazy. So that is probably the gist of what I can give you about tarot. I am, again, not a scholarly tarot reader. Mama Squirrel is. Jen is an amazing, amazing, amazing information storehouse when it comes to tarot. And I highly suggest you watch her videos. And the Thrifty Witch. Sorry, I'm not being very clear. The Thrifty Witch. So please look into her if you're looking for information on individual cards and meanings and that type of things. Look into her. If you are a person who gets a feeling from a card but cannot seem to learn it, the odds are you are probably an intuitive reader and you are not going to be able to learn the scholarly method of reading. And there is nothing wrong with that. There is nothing wrong with that. You can move on to have extreme, vivid readings that are right on, that are, excellent readings, and give these people the guidance they need. Just because you're not the scholarly type doesn't mean you don't give good readings. So don't sell yourself short. If you have trouble with the book, start delving into just, reading what comes up, and from your mind's eye, from your heart, not necessarily from a book. And know that one card that means this in this reading, because you're an intuitive reader, may never mean that again in another reading. I have gotten the Three of Swords, for instance. I've gotten the Three of Swords and had it mean that this person had 3 love interests and that she was confused, and was right about that. I have gotten the Three of Swords and had it mean that this person had been completely crushed many times over. I have gotten the Three of Swords and had it mean that there was immense love in this person's life. It never means the same thing twice for me. And that's the difference between scholarly reading and intuitive reading, between knowledgeable of the cards type reading and intuitive reading. It's just different in the fact that you don't have a guideline as far as what the card means. You simply know what it means in that moment for that person. I hope I'm explaining this well enough, because it's confusing even to me. So anyway, I hope that helped. I will be back with another video soon. Remember, you're divine, sacred beings of light and love. I love each and every one of you with all of my heart. Stay safe, stay inside, be protected, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.